Okay. Well, I'd like to report everybody from Nebraska Task Force is in good spirits. Everybody's healthy. Last night, NETF1 was dispatched about 1900 hours, around 7 p.m., to a large nursing home where about half of the residents were in wheelchairs. We got there and we evacuated 124 residents. We actually moved them into buses and wheelchair vans, and then half of our team went to the collection point to where they were going to be staying, and we unloaded them there and made sure that they were safe. We had some assets from the National Guard. We moved just mattresses. We moved their med carts. We moved food for them. They were beside the Cape Fear River, and it is in danger of flooding. There was no water in the facility when we did this, but they were trying to be proactive and get them out. We finished that and got back to our booth at 2:30 this morning. So we're still waiting for an assignment. They've divided our area up into an east and west area. Nebraska Task Force 1 has been assigned the west area. At the current time, the Cape Fear River is around 36 to 40 feet. They expect it to crest at maybe 65 feet. As I mentioned earlier, I think this week they said Hurricane Matthew it crested at 58 or around 58 feet. So our fire chief from Hope Mills Fire Department has been here a long time. He was telling us that the major water won't start hitting here for 24 to 72 hours. So right now we have some force protection from the Forest Service that are embedded with us, and we are ready to go. I did a short interview with a local affiliate of one of the Fayetteville TV stations a few minutes ago. We talked about our capabilities and what we could do and what we have done. Are there any questions?
Chief, this is Kevin Cole of the Omaha World Herald.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, can you talk just a little bit about a little bit more about that rescue last night, the 124 people? Where were they taken to?
There was 124 people, and it's more of an evacuation than a rescue. They have combined facilities together, one from Lumberton, and I'm not sure where the other one was, but they had moved all these residents into the facility because their other ones were in danger of flooding. So we loaded them up. We took them to the Shiloh Methodist Church, who had graciously agreed to accept them and help care for them.
And have you encountered any? What's the biggest problems you've encountered there?
Well, probably for me, it's the uncertainty of what the water is going to do. There's some historical data that said roads are closed and washed out. We haven't seen that yet, but as I mentioned earlier, the local fire chief, who has a very credible intel, said not to expect the most water for the next 24 to 72 hours.
I'll continue with one more question, unless there's somebody else who has something.
Go ahead.
Okay. Chief, the other day when you were getting ready and staging, you thought you would be doing a lot of work in boats. It sounds like yesterday you were using buses and vans. Has Task Force 1 been doing any rescue from boats?
We haven't yet. As I mentioned earlier, they divided the area up into an east and west division. We've been assigned the west division. And we expect to start doing boat rescue and evacuation later today or in the next day.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Chief.
You're welcome. One thing I would like to add is to say how proud I am of our team members. This was a difficult task last night. The Fayetteville assistant chief was on location, and he went back to the emergency operations center and gave us a lot of kudos, said what good spirits we were in, and he was really impressed with how we treated the residents. And like I said, I'm pretty proud of the way they acted. You know, they're smiling, helping, just generally being really nice to these people. So it really makes me proud.
And Chief, who was that that was passing along the kudos for Task Force 1?
It was the assistant chief from Fayetteville Fire Department.
Are there any pictures from that evacuation that you can share?
We have some that have been pushed up to the FEMA IST, the Incident Support Team, and maybe Chief Fab can release some of those. I can't send them directly to you.
Okay, no, but I know where to look now. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Chief Bonine?
Yeah, Chief, this is Pierce with Channel 8. I just want to know, in the next coming days, what are you expecting to go through?
As I mentioned, we expect the Cape Fear River to crest. They're talking about 65 feet, which is significantly higher than what it was for Hurricane Matthew 2 years ago. If that happens, we have some maps that show some pretty substantial flooding downstream from us. And I expect to be doing boat operations, rescues, and evacuations from those that decided not to evacuate. There is a mandatory evacuation for everyone within a mile and a half of the Cape Fear River at this point. It starts this afternoon.